Hi, in this video we're continuing our note reading journey. In the last video we learned how to read the open strings D and A. Today we're going to fill in the gaps and learn to read E, F sharp, and G, which are our first three fingers on the D string. So go ahead and look in your book on page 18. So on page 18 you'll see that we start learning the note E. E is just above the note D because D is located right below our staff, and then E is our first line note. You'll notice that the note head is passed through with the first line of the staff. So now we can kind of talk about that there are two types of notes that we can see on the staff. We have space notes and we have line notes. And you can tell the difference just by whether or not a line is passing through the head of the note, as you see with the note E. So we go from open D, which is the bottom space, to E, which is that first line. And as the notes go up on the staff, they go up on our instrument. As the notes go down on the staff, they go down all the way to open G, which we'll see in a few lessons from now. So for today, let's go ahead and start with some warm-ups by playing on open D and our first finger E. So before we even read on the books, let's just go ahead and play a few notes. We play our open D with a long bow. Then add your first finger for E. Okay, those are our two ingredients. Now looking at our book, if you look at number 27, it only has two notes in it. It has D, which is our space note, and E, which is our line note. So when you see the note that's a little bit higher and it's on the line, that's going to be your E, your first finger. And then when you see the note that doesn't pass through the line and it's right below the staff, that's your open D. So here we go. This is number 27. Setting your bow on the D string. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so it's just two notes, D and E. Now you might notice that when you're first reading through it, it might seem a little bit fast. So what you can do is before you play any piece, I recommend just going through and reading the letters and thinking about which string or finger you're going to be playing for that letter. So let's go ahead and take a look now at 29, which is flashy first. We now have a combination of D, E, and our quarter notes and half notes. So even if the note looks different, even if sometimes it'll look like a quarter note where it's filled in, and sometimes it'll look like a half note where it has the hole in the center, just remember that that doesn't change our pitch value. So if the note is down below the staff, whether it's a quarter note or a half note, it's still the note D. If it looks like a quarter note, if it's filled in and it's below the staff, or if it's on the line, then that's a quarter note, D or E. So let's take a look at flashy first. What I'll do is we'll read together the first four measures and then we'll just play it through. So the first four measures goes like this. D, D, E, E, D, E, D, E, D, E, D, D. Now we can play it. Remember, use whole bows on your half notes for those two count bows. Setting the bow on the D string. 1, 2, ready, go. Now we can add our A string. So we now know how to read three notes. We can read our open D, our first finger E, and our A string. So as a reminder, D is the note that's down below the staff, E is the note that's that first line on the staff, and A is up in the second space. It's between the two lines of the staff. So when you see your half notes, remember use full bow. When you see your quarter notes, you can use a little bit less bow. So this is number 30. Go ahead and stop the video here and see if you can read through the notes. Just read D, A, E, A. There's also one thing that we need to establish before we play. If you look in the second measure, you'll see there's a 1 with a line going through it. That line just tells us to keep the first finger down while we're playing the open A. It's called a tunnel. So when you're playing that, you're going to play your first finger E, keep it down, and play the open A. If you try that and you hear this, that sound, that's because the back of your first finger, the flat part of your first finger is touching, it's leaning up against the A string and it's blocking it. So what we need to do is, this is why we call them tunnels. We need to have a clear tunnel that the A string is passing through. So set your first finger on the D string and make sure your first finger is standing up on its tippy toes. It's curved around the A string and it shouldn't be touching the A string. So you might have to fidget a little bit. You might have to adjust the angle of your finger and your wrist, but you want to be able to play your open A while your first finger is down. This is really important, and if you can learn this now, it'll give you a big head start in our playing in the future. So go ahead, read through the notes, and then once you're done and you're ready to play, let's play through number 30. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, 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 rest.